Hello there and welcome along to the XL in London, which has been the home of MCM London Comic Con this weekend. It's been quite an event. I mean, I've only been here on the Sunday, but even for a convention, it's just been absolutely rammed. I mean, I was speaking to Mike Armstrong from ReedPOP earlier on today, and we were talking about the strength of hosting the event here at the XL. Yeah. Obviously, it's one of those events that you have to travel to, and that's why you do have people, tens of thousands of people outside, and they do stay to the very end of the day. Yeah. How's the weekend been? Because I know that yesterday was particularly mental as well.
Yesterday was insane. Saturday's always a strong day, yeah. But the whole weekend's been fantastic. Feedback we've been getting is really strong. The community side of things it's as strong as it always is. We know the audience is there. They love to not just experience the show. Mm-hmm. They come together as a unit. They want to meet up with their friends. They want to be outside in cosplay. Yeah. The number of meets.
Cosplay's been incredible this week. Even just today, which I've seen, it's been incredible.
The standard of it's been just amazing. I think some of the best costumes actually I've seen at one of our events. This weekend just seems to have stepped up another level. Don't know why, but it has. And it's just been great to see.
I think there's that gap that you have between the conventions that we've had this year, and then this is the kind of like last hurrah before winter really kicks in, and it's been really cool. Very quickly, just to introduce, you're Josh, and yes. You are the event director for London?
I'm the London event manager.
There we go. Okay.
So essentially it's my baby. I'm running it, looking after it, working with obviously my team to make sure that we're hitting what the fans want.
Sure.
And I think I'd like to think we're doing a really good job. The feedback we had a meet with some of the visitors and the fans. Took them to a little room, got their feedback and thoughts, and trying to work out what we need to do to keep on improving and building the show that resonates throughout the community of cosplayers, sci-fi fans, film fans, gaming fans, the whole lot. We want to make sure that we're tailoring it to them, and fingers crossed we're doing a good job.
I think that's the strength of the MCM brand, that it is very much a community, and you feel that as you walk through the door.
It's important.
Absolutely, and I suspect that is the primary solid appeal for ReedPOP to come into business with MCM, which is what we're going to be, the primary part of what we're going to be talking about in this conversation. Obviously that's a very exciting deal. It's something that I can imagine has been years in the planning, but it's actually only happened really kind of recently, hasn't it? The actual signing of the paperwork.
We're talking days. Big massive announcement, not just for us, but for ReedPOP. So obviously stepping foot into the UK market, we can't wait to start working with them. I think it's going to be a huge uptake for the shows as well. We're excited to be working with them. We've had the American teams coming over. We've seen what they've done with the New York Comic Cons. We've obviously wanted to emulate that over here and create a Comic Con that resonates for the UK fan base, but takes the best bits of the American cons and delivers it over here. Yeah. So we feel we've been doing a good job, but we know that working alongside the guys from the ReedPOP team and now being part of the family, we can take this show to the next.
I think that's pretty much what, I mean, the conversations that I've had, not only with the people on the ground, but also with the guys from ReedPOP. It is about that taking up of the next level. And with that, then the entire convention landscape here in the UK. Very quickly then, we'll start from the kernel of the arrangement of the deal, and then we'll kind of work in towards the actual, certainly London as the event. In terms of the actual deal itself, I'm guessing, or I've been told, that it's a buyout. Yes. At the end of the day, it is now ReedPOP. They are ReedPOP events. Is that starting as of this weekend, or is that starting from next year?
Effective this weekend.
Wow. Okay.
So we moving forwards. We are officially ReedPOP family. It's a message that's gone out there, and obviously next year we're almost at the end of our conventions. We've got one more show this year. Yeah. We've already done the work for that. We're delivering the show. That's in 3 weeks' time. After that, obviously that's when we will notice the change in terms of internal. But for the show itself, yeah, we'll be working with them effective immediately. We've already got, as I say, we've got the team over here this weekend, and we're getting to know each other.
In that case, the question that came from the press release, because it talked about the UK conventions.
Correct.
What is happening with the international ones, such as over in Germany? Are those separate events?
So the show that I'm involved in is the London show.
Sure.
Directors are working through and working on those events. So the MCM brand will continue throughout the UK and Europe. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, obviously this is the show that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And the wider discussion is going on.
Fair enough.
Above me.
Okay, that's fine. And well, I mean, that was going to be my next question in terms of the rest of the press release, because it was talking about the rest of the cons here in the UK. Obviously, this is the tent pole of the MCM brand here in the UK. In which case, where can you see the improvements kind of affecting the rest of the rest of the events? Can you see the same kind of things that we see changing here at London affecting the other events?
Yeah, I think it's only going to be a good thing for the shows. So I think with our range of shows throughout the UK, what we've always built is yes, obviously the community spirit, but with our regional shows, we know they're smaller, we know the venues are smaller, but we tailor them to the audience that are going to those. So we want to hit the local markets, and ReedPOP identifies that. They know the fans, they love the fans, and that's what we want to harness. So from my side of things, looking at our portfolio of events, what it will mean is a development of internally in the shows, making sure that we're delivering an event that ticks the right boxes for the fan base, making sure that we're listening to them. They want to see more guests, they want to see a better range of guests. What can we do about that? And I think the support from the ReedPOP team, again, you look through their events throughout the world, not just New York Comic Con, but obviously Emerald City, you've got Paris Comic Con, you've got other events. They listen to the local audiences, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
They definitely shape their events to the individual location, and you kind of get a sense of that with MCM, with going to Birmingham and going to the various towns, and there is that sense of locality. You obviously do your best to bring a national range of talent to, say, something like London. How can you see the regionality working at stuff like Birmingham and like Glasgow?
So it's what we want to do. We'll be holding more focus groups throughout the year. So we want to engage more with the audience and the community side of things to say, what is it you're wanting from your shows? Essentially, it's their shows. It's not ours. It's theirs. And that's what we want to use to tailor each event. So we want the MCM identity. That's what we want to keep. Of course, we want to do that, but we want to listen to what the demands and wants of our fans are, and where we can deliver on every single base. So that could be anything from local film studios to gaming studios, indie developers. If we can bring that into the show, because that's what they want, we'll look to do that. We want to develop the show floor. In terms of talent as well, it's the age-old thing. People want to come and meet their superstars that they've admired for years. So it's a case of we want to tailor our messaging and communication with the audience and the fan base to say, what is it you're wanting? And let us see if we can deliver that. And I think we've been doing that, but obviously with ReedPOP behind us and working with us, it's a case of we can really explore that and utilise what's available to us.
Well, I mean, I think the strengths of ReedPOP are definitely evident in shows like you've mentioned, like Emerald City, like New York. And certainly one of the things that they are very keen on is strengthening that phrase Comic Con and having comic creators. Now you've been doing some great work over the last couple of years with the strengthening of the Comic Village brand. What can you see that enhancing and developing? Can you see that taking up a real serious jump?
Yeah, we want to bring the comics back into the Comic Con that we're delivering. I'm not going to hide away from it. We've had times where people have said, how can it be a Comic Con with a smaller portion of it being being comics? We want to address that. We want to make sure that we're bringing the right artists in, the right authors, and really develop that side of things and give the audience what they want. So whether that's recognisable names, whether that's nurturing the indie comic artists, putting a stage in there, focusing on that. How can we grow the area? the demand is there
Yeah.
from our audience, and the capabilities are there from our side. So we need to look at what they're doing in these other conventions, look at what we're not doing, and marry those together.
Have you been looking at other conventions as well about what they've been doing?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly there's some great comic-led conventions, such as Thought Bubble, such as Lakes, such as Ice. Have you been kind of looking at those to see how they've been doing there?
Absolutely, yeah. We never turn away from looking at other conventions. I think you're always growing, you're always trying to do something different, and in order to do that you need to know what everybody else is doing. Can we do something different to them? Are they doing something particularly good that we can look at and go, oh, okay, yeah, they're really good at that, what can we learn from that? And I'm not going to say that we do everything the best, we don't,
Sure,
but we're always open to learning and adapting it, and the show's evolved show to show to show to show, not just London but the regional shows. And I think I want comic talent coming to the show. We want the big names, but we also want to make sure that we're nurturing the UK market for up and coming talent, and there is a lot of that.
What can you? Okay, so now we can kind of focus a little bit more on the shows themselves. Certainly, I mean, for the vast majority of people who are walking through the door, they're not going to care about this. It's inside baseball stuff, that's
of course,
fine.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, it's going to change the shape and the tenor and the tone of a show. What can you see as being certainly the immediate changes when it comes? I mean, you can't obviously
the physical show floor. Or
Possibly. I mean, well, certainly in terms of the naming, is it going to be ReedPOP Presents, or is it going to stay MCM Comic Con?
MCM Comic Con.
Fair enough.
That's the brand, that's the identity.
That's
MCM Comic Con is what the fans relate to.
Right.
And
have you had discussions then about changes in terms of show floor? In terms of how MCM is going to change?
Yeah, there's been discussions around it, and the resonating message is that why change something that isn't broken?
It just needs fine-tuning the engine.
That's it. There's going to be a period of let's really look at the show. Let's just take a step back, look through everything, and just go. That's been presented in a great way, but we could just do this, and we can fine-tune it. And ultimately,
so will attendees recognise the show?
I hope so.
Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want to lose who we are. We are MCM Comic Con. We know where we've come from. We're not going to lose that.
Fair enough.
Our community is key to us. We don't want to lose that identity because we don't want to lose our community. So that is what will stay.
Okay.
And in fact, the show itself, we've been working hard over the last. So I've been with the company 4 years. We've been working hard way before that with the wider team. We're not going to just change everything.
No.
And it's a case of, I think ultimately, ReedPOP have identified what we're achieving, and it's a huge compliment that they've wanted to be part of that, and now we're part of that ReedPOP family. So from my side of things, looking at show floor, looking at what we're doing and the brands we're getting, we've got Marvel coming into this show for the first time ever, and that's
in a huge way.
21 costumes from Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther, and a lot of those.
There's a hell of a footprint on that floor.
Oh, huge! Close to 4,000 square meters. So, which is it's a big portion of our show.
Was that something that you could feel was intimidating to the rest of the floor? Because is the way that the floor is managed going to be something that is going to be looked at in terms of
we need to make
the way that you're using this?
What we want to do is we want to make it. It needs to be an organic growth or change and adjustment. So the show floor works. It's appealing to everybody that's on there, from tabletop sellers through to your Marvel brands. What I try to do when I'm looking at the show is, how easy is it to navigate? How easy is it to find everybody from, regardless of scale? I want to come to the show because I want to look at independent artists' work. I want to come to the show because I want to experience Marvel. You've got to think of organically, how can they experience all of that? We don't want people just to come to the show, just to go to one section. We want them to walk through an area and go, I never knew this was a thing, but I love it. How do I get more of it? And I think you kind of want to bunch together people that work naturally together, so TV and films, games and tabletop, Comic Village with publishers, so it's not just the artist, you're looking at authors, and you're looking at book publishers. All of that needs to flow naturally, and every show there's a little tweak, and the inner workings of looking at the event, it's hard when you're looking top down just at a flat plan, but the floor plan needs to develop, and I think you need to be looking at how can we just tweak little areas, and I think the show itself, this time especially, I feel personally this has been one of the best shows, and the feedback we're getting is excellent. But Marvel, DC, you're getting WWE to the show, which isn't necessarily what people would think of as a Comic Con, but they're developing films.
Sure.
There's more of a crossover with games. So those brands coming to the show, it's going to amplify the event and amplify the experience. And a lot of our brands at the show are starting to really create an interactive show floor for the audience. And we've shifted away from just being about the retail, if you like. And that was feedback we were getting from the audience is we love the retail, but we like
the activations. We like the stuff we can kind of get involved in.
We're seeing it in San Diego. We're seeing it in New York. We want to have that experience. And talking with our partners for the show, so Marvel, for example, bringing over those costumes, we heard what the community wanted. They wanted to have something that's exclusive that you can't get anywhere else. We've got costumes that have only shown at D23. They didn't even show at New York or San Diego. So for us, it's kind of a crowning glory. We're getting something exclusive to the European and UK market, and that I can only see that that's the sort of thing we're going to see more of. So I really hope that throughout the fan base, people aren't looking at this and worrying, going, "Oh, is the
where's
where's
everything going to shift?"
No, exactly. And I honestly don't think that the fans are going to come back next year and go, "Oh my God, this is completely different."
Wow, it's not orange anymore. It's green or something.
And that's it. For us, we've got a brand identity. We've got a voice. We've got a voice, and we want to keep that. And ReedPOP want us to keep that. They're here to support us and elevate the show to the next level, to really hit the European audience and say, not just the UK, but the European guys to come over and go, this is what we can do. This is who we are. Come and experience this market. And I just think it's just gonna keep rolling, keep building, and just really just give almost a festival vibe that people can engage with, and you never know. It completely changed the face of the convention market, but in a positive way.
Two things. I mean, I do want to come back to Comic Village, because obviously there's a lot of artists that are wanting to kind of, like you say, enhance the whole idea of comics at a comic convention, and obviously that's going to take a little bit more space, but that takes an investment. That takes it takes money. At the end of the day, is that going to come from the creators, or is that going to come from the investment that you've now received from ReedPOP?
I think what we'll
can you allay the fears?
I was going to say what we don't want to do is make this an impossible event for people to be at. So it's a case of it's not just we've got this idea, we're going to make people pay. So from my side, no, we don't want to suddenly charge these independent artists or even the big name artists or anybody. We're going to charge more. We're not planning on that. That's not what we want to do. Part of ReedPOP coming in means that, right, how can we build this show? It takes investment. We've got to reinvest it into the show.
And they've also got that massive portfolio, that huge Rolodex of contacts. That's fantastic.
So from our side, it's a case of we don't want to alienate anybody. What we want to do is continue to develop the shows, build the shows, make it fun, really attract people in, and just make sure that people really get that this is somewhere you can come and be yourself. We're going to embrace you, whether you're on the show floor as an exhibitor, an artist, or just a creator, if you like, or even just coming as a member of our talent team, just to do some content on the stage. We want to embrace everybody. We want to welcome everybody, and we're not looking to suddenly go, right, we're going to outprice everybody. We need to make sure that fans come first, and exhibitors and partners to the show also feel like we're listening to them and working with them. But like you say, yes, it comes from, it needs money and you need to invest in areas, but it's an area that we're already trying to work and make sure that we're centralising or bringing forward the Comic Village, so people that want to come for meeting these artists and the up and coming artists can feel that we want them to be a big part of it and be integral to our show. We're putting them front and centre. We're trying to make sure that they are as visible as Marvel, and that they've got their shot at being central to our show. And you need to do that, because without them and without the fan base of the shows, there is no show. And that's what internally, from our point of view, from our discussions, that's what we identify, that's what we want. And like I said before, it's their show.
Yeah.
It's not our show. It's our show by name, but we're creating it for them. So we need them to work with us.
Well, one element that's definitely developed over the last 2-3 years, like you say, off the response from the audience, has been VidCon, which I've been very excited to see. How's that going to? Is that going to evolve or change? How's that going to work as part of the new model? Do you think?
In all honesty, I'm not sure at the moment. It's not something that I've entered a conversation with. I think that's something that will be discussed and worked out and looked at over the coming months. So
because I think that's VidCon is very much a unique thing for MCM. I don't even see that at a ReedPOP show, that it's something that focuses on that multimedia and new media thing. So I think it'd be interesting and a lost opportunity if it wasn't continued at MCM.
No, absolutely, and that response is not a case of having the online creators at the show. I think there's something for that, and we need to work out how we make that work.
Sure.
We don't want to do things half-hearted. We don't want things to not work. So it's something that, again, the bigger discussion. It's still a fresh announcement. It's like internally as well. It's still very early days, but it's very exciting.
Yeah. So the next event is Birmingham.
Yeah, Birmingham on the 19th and 20th of November.
Well, what's going to be the case of the influence? I mean, will we start seeing influence from that show, basically?
I would like to imagine so.
Yeah.
I think there's.
Or is it going to be another con where it's another one to learn from, and then 2018
of course,
hit the floor?
I was going to say, I mean, we're a matter of 3 weeks away from the show, so largely all of that's been worked out. The show's in flux, if you like. It's working. It's the team working on that are ready to deliver it. So it will be a minuscule impact, if any noticeable impact. But behind the scenes, things are already
there's plenty of stuff happening.
Exactly, and it's a really exciting period for us as a team. All of us that have been working at MCM prior to this buyout. We're excited. We're G'd up. We're ready to attack. And I think the ReedPOP team, from everybody that we've been introduced to and met as a result of all of this, it's a mutual feeling. The future's bright, basically.
Brilliant.
And there's no need for people to have any concerns. If in fact it should be the complete opposite.
Excellent.
And we'd like to think that our fans trust that we're going to continue to be MCM, and we're going to continue to listen to them and deliver the show that they want us to deliver, not just in London, but all the regionals.
I think that's a fine line to finish on. Thank you very much indeed.
Absolute pleasure, thank you.
And you can find out more about MCM events. It's not going to be changing to any ReedPOP URL anytime soon. You can of course go to mcmcomiccon.co.uk. .com. There you go. And of course you can follow them on Twitter on MCM Comic Con, and that's all the major social medias as well. You can find out more about myself and what we get up to at Englishman in San Diego at Englishman SDCC, and of course at an Englishman in San Diego.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We got there.
Yeah,
we got there.